little bit of hand gesture in there, little too. Yes, you go here, and then he'd be right up there for you right away. We're going to watch a short video here, second one. But before we do, this is another thought from Dad that I would like to share before. The video is about 7 minutes, and then we'll wrap this thing up here with the remaining speakers. But this is for everybody that is here. The memories you have, especially for my family, of Dad, husband, grandpa, coach, friend, are the only things that you can keep. And those moments that made those so very special to you, I ask you to hold those memories dear to your heart and don't ever let them go, because we all know that Dad never let them go, ever.
You know what, fellas, unless you believe what I believe, and I've been believing this for a long time, I teach the most important course of the day. When I'm on that football field, I'm teaching the most important course. And when I'm on that field, now this sounds corny, but you are teaching the game of life. Now, if you get an attitude, you're talking about, hey, you're talking about blood and guts, right? I mean, I'm going to stay in here, and I'm going to block and tackle, or I'm going to get in that batter's box, and I'm working, and I'm getting those ground balls, and I'm working to my right, and I'm working to my left, and the sweat's pouring, and I got a strawberry this big, and this hurts in here, and I got to go, and I'm out in that mountain, and I'm telling Coach that my arm don't, and it's falling off. How many of you guys weren't even able to wipe your fanny sometimes where your arm was so sore? Johnny Sain told me he pitched for 3 years with a sore arm. 3 years, and he wouldn't ever tell anybody because he didn't want anybody taking his job. 3 years, he said, I couldn't raise it up. Every fourth day, though, I raised it up. Do you understand? Do you understand what you're giving? Do you understand what you're giving to somebody? You're giving them the opportunity to go through this and establish the same philosophy that you guys, the hard work, the ethics, this is what, we don't cheat, we don't lie. Goodness gracious, where are they going to hear it today, Coach? I'm sure, in describing his roommate, Warren Spahn, he could hit a gnat's ass. Fellas, do you realize what hitting a gnat's ass is? That's pretty. Did you ever see Spahn work? He could work. He worked it that way, guys. He worked it that way. 5 consecutive years he had the Golden Glove. 5 consecutive years, never made an error, and pitched more innings than anybody in the game. Ernie pitched more innings than anybody in the game in those 5 years, never made an error. Accident. Great fielder. By chance, Brock and Wills, 2 best race runners at that time, and part of the 5 best of all time. How many bases did they steal off of Spotty? Coach. Now, come, you gotta be horse manuring me, Gordie. Brock and Wills didn't. What is this guy giving? I mean, we don't know. Where are you getting all these names, Grandpa Gordie? I mean, you're throwing out Yogi and Spot. We don't know about these guys now. Are we back in all those? Because it has what to do with what? I'm talking about a psychology of what? A philosophy of what? Of defense. Kills me, guys, when we punt a football 4th and 1. I have never punted a football 4th and 1 in my life, and I'm going to my grave never punted a football. We can't make a yard. Do you understand? We can't. They're telling us we can't make a yard. You understand what I'm talking about here? That's the idea of a team. Now the other way, imagine Buck is saying, are you going to get that yard? You understand what we got going? And then Vince telling you that losing is worse than death. But he said, you see, when you become a team, that's what it feels like, right? Coach, tell me the bleeding. I've been there. I've been there, guys. I've been in the World Series 15 times. I'm telling you, I've been there. I know what it is to get beat in the bottom of the ninth with a home run. I know what it is to throw a pitch. I know what it is to strike out. Striking out Freddie Zerwanka. He was striking out in the first inning and he wanted the ball hit him in the face, for the Christ's sake. That's the kind of players that I want to have. Understand? Now we have a team. And that's what Vince, you see how he turned it around up there? He turned it around up there. That was his what? First thing he did when he went to the Packers, you know what he did? That's the training room door. That's the training room door. He took 2 boards, 2x4. Wham, wham, doom, doom. No one's hurt. No one's hurt. What's wrong with it? Since you were 3 years old, you wanted to win the checker game with your dad, and your dad wanted to beat you. That's part of it. That's okay. It's okay, guys. Teach it, because we ain't going to cheat. We ain't going to lie. We ain't. See, you're going to be different than those jackasses, see, that cheat and lie and steal. They're a small percentage. You're the good guys. You're in the white hats. You know why you're in the game. You know why you've got a philosophy. This is my philosophy. They aren't the 10 suggestions, guys. They're the 10 commandments. Do you understand what I just said? They are not the 10 suggestions. They are the 10 commandments. And who's going to tell the kids right from wrong if you don't? The trouble is you can't say it. You got to live it. And that ain't easy all the time. And that ain't easy all the time. We used the percentage before of 65%, right? Wins. How much percentage is pitching in baseball? 75, 80, right? You rate it that high. And we're talking about not offense, but we're talking about defense. Defense. Woo! Defense, right? Ooh, you get all fired up when you're football, boy. Basketball, I want to go. Huh? Some of the greatest matchups I've ever seen. Oscar Robertson versus Jerry West. All right? Michael Jordan versus the guy from Detroit when he'd beat him up every day. Or 3 guys guarding Michael. All right? That's exciting stuff. Pitching's 80% of the game, and you can hit a Nats behind, and you don't get a base stolen off you. I understand what I'm talking about. You field 1,000. Are you going to win? Why was Spahn the winningest pitcher in the history of the game? Because he did those 3 things. Plus, he had the Freddie Zerwanka that I was telling you about, right? Because he felt like Vince Lombardi. That losing is worse than death, right? Losing is worse than death. That's the way I got to go out to compete, right? You ain't going to beat me. It's never over until it's over. Who's the toughest hitter you ever faced? Anybody with a bat? Wham, wham, wham.
Thank you. Obviously, that morning that Dad spoke at that clinic was not one of the days that he allowed Joan to pick out his pants. Yeah. And he had his Jungle Jim shirt on there, too. Wow. It's amazing that as Margaret talked and Billy talked about forgiveness, and Dad talks about the 10 Commandments, and that his unforgiving love of all of us, because God knows that I've broken my share of commandments, and I never was lectured. I was always spoken to, and that's something that I will always remember for the rest of my life, and hopefully I can pass that on to my own children continually.